Hey y'all, so I wanted to do this video to share some international travel tips and must-haves, right? So I think there are some things that a lot of people do not consider when they are going on international or doing international travel. I have a trip coming up to Lisbon and Senegal, and I thought I would just share. This video isn't more so for international travels for Mexico or the Caribbean, the more so further overseas where you may be on a flight 10 to 20 hours or even beyond that. So the first tip or consideration is luggage size, luggage weight. For example, we went on a trip across Asia. We went to Dubai, Thailand, Japan, and fortunately we did our due diligence and realized that although their carry out and size limitations are a little more restrictive than here in the US. For example, their carry-on limitation is 7 kilograms, which is equivalent to 15 pounds, right? So I know my carry-on luggage by itself, I believe it was like 6 or 7 pounds alone. So that means I only had what, 7 or 8 pounds to work with. I know me. There was no way. There was no way. There was just no way. There was no way. So I got a backpack. So I bought this backpack off of Amazon, and it has a lot of compartments. This here for your shoes, to keep your shoes separate. Compartments here. As you can see, I still have stuff in here. A compartment here. Another zipper here. Here. Another zipper inside. Has places for your water bottle. So yeah, this allowed me to have that additional weight. And I don't even think this backpack by itself was even 2 pounds. Now, the friend that I went with, she decided to completely just backpack across Asia. Me, I did also have a checked bag. That was just not conducive to who I am. So I already knew that was not going to work for me. But she made it work. I think her backpack was even lighter than mine. She may have used like one of those hiking backpacks that are more lightweight, but also had a lot of compartments for her to bring more things. And that actually worked out for her. So the next thing you should consider is having a global entry or joining the global entry program. So if you apply for global entry, what that is a trusted traveler program. So that allows you to come in and back in by way of a speedier process, or have a speedier process coming back in through security and customs when you're coming in from your international flight. The other perk is it also includes TSA, right? So when you're leaving, even domestically, right? So you're going on a flight and you want to get in a little quicker. You don't have to take your shoes off and everything when you're going through the airport. That's another perk. The fee for that, I think, is like $110, and I want to say it lasts 5 years. So even if you do not travel internationally often, that to me, you get your money's worth. Like I said, even just with the TSA alone, you get your money's worth. And let's say you only travel internationally every 2 years. It's still a good investment. And check with your credit card companies. They may reimburse for global entry, right? So at the end of the day, you may not even have to pay for it at all. Take your Apple Watch. This is a necessity for me when I am traveling, and for several reasons, it allows you to be a little bit more hands-free when you're traveling. I think I also use it as like for safety, with tracking my steps, with tracking my health, with for my heart rate. You can wear it in the water, so if you're going to be at the beach and you're going to be swimming, there's also SOS. It's especially for if you have family calling you and you don't want to take your phone in the water, if you take your Apple Watch and, you know, your mama them call, you can answer, you can talk to them, hey, I'm in the water, I'll call you back. That way you don't miss anything. I think this is one thing that is essential to on a trip. Also, easy access, right? You can still do Apple Pay on your phone. You can access your boarding passes, your tickets. If there's gate changes, you can get notifications. Also, translation apps through your Apple Watch. I suggest everyone take an Apple Watch with them or some kind of smartwatch, right? And there is Liquid IV packets. And this one, I'm wrong for this because this one is kind of old. I need to throw it away. But Liquid IV packets. I know for me, I can get dehydrated sometimes on trips, and I want to make sure I stay hydrated so I can stay healthy. The last thing you want to do is have to go see a doctor on your international trip. So I suggest a couple of packets of Liquid IV on your trip every time. Another thing people don't really think about on their international travel is having a pen. Please take a pen with y'all. Y'all do not know what they gonna have y'all filling out. You may be thinking that you filled out everything, you've done everything that was required. You never know. And what you don't want to do is go through a crowd of people and everybody is looking for a pen. Who got a pen, or do they have enough pens in the area for everyone to use? Take your own pen. That way you can easily access it. You the first one to fill out whatever it was that they asked you to fill out, and you are done. Take a pen. Take 2 pens if you can. Take a pen. Next is a universal travel adapter. Right? You don't know, so everyone does not have the same wall outlet plug, right? So you don't want to get to your destination, to your hotel, to your Airbnb, and realize that your standard US plug does not fit in their outlets. So I purchased this again off of Amazon, right? And you can do it in different ways. So this one says the EU, right? So, and then you can contract it back for me. Okay. This one says the UK, right? And then you can retract it back. This one says the US and Australia. And retract it back. I know that, let's see. I know it doesn't say like Asia on here, but one of these fit Asia as well. It does have a USB-C port, right? This one does not have a regular USB port. Oh, wait, I lied. It does, right? So, USB, USB. All right. So, yeah, I suggest everyone take one of these. That way you don't have to worry about if you have the right one or if you are buying the right one. Because if you just buy one, I'm like, oh, I'm going to UK, I'm gonna get the the UK one, and then you find out that this ain't the one. It was the EU. So yeah, it's just easier if you just have one that does them all. That way you can change it as appropriate when you get to where you're going. And if you're going to be traveling several places, you don't have to keep up with different ones. You just have this one. It comes with this little holder. You can just slide it right in there and zip it on up. Make sure it's in your bag. This is one of the things that I probably would keep on my person in my backpack and not put in my check bag. Next thing, since we're talking about chargers, is a portable charger. So I've had this one for a long time and I love it. If you're going to be out and about, roaming through the city, sightseeing, please take a portable charger. You do not want your phone to die while you are out, especially if you're walking around. You're dependent on your phone for directions. You're dependent on it for translating. You're wanting to keep in contact with your family, text message, whatever the case may be. Your phone is like your livelihood while you're gone, right? So please take a portable charger and one that is long lasting. So just make sure you do your research. However, I will have this one in my links. Now we are talking about headphones. So I got these headphones from Amazon. Handy dandy Amazon. These are Goldrex Goldrex headphones. Now, these are probably some of the longest lasting headphones that I have ever used, right? So it comes in this case, right? This is what they look like. It tells you how much charge you have left to it. I have 30%. I do not know how long I've had 30% on these headphones, but I have to stay entertained on, you know, the airplane, or even when I'm out and I'm on a trip and let's say maybe I'm solo, I will take these headphones, and of course I want to make sure I'm aware of my surroundings. So I'll put one headphone in and kind of listen to my music to kind of calm me, you know, while I'm in the area. Even when I go to the store day to day, and I'm by myself, I'll put one headphone in and listen to some R&B music or whatever I'm in the mood for while I'm shopping, right? So headphones. Now these are Bluetooth. More importantly, make sure you have some corded headphones, right? I keep mine in this Ziploc bag. I have a pair for myself and for my husband. So yeah, make sure you have corded headphones to be able to plug in, you know, to the seats, and if they have movies or whatever, so you'll be able to listen in. Of course, they may give you some headphones, but personally, I like to have my own because one, they give you the ones that, you know, you kind of stick in the ear. I get ear fatigue, if that makes sense. So after a while, I don't want those things stuck off in my ear like that. Now, I do get these, the ones that hook off behind your ear. And although I may not put this thing, you know, kind of deep tucked off in my ear, I may have it kind of sitting on the outside a little bit. But I love the ones that I can just tuck behind. That way, especially if I lean over to the side trying to watch the movie or whatever, I don't have to worry about them slipping out. And some of y'all be forgetting y'all neck pillow or think y'all don't need it. Please, on these long flights, take a neck pillow, because there is no way I will be able to survive on a flight without a neck pillow. I don't want to be tense when I get to my destination because my neck hurts. Of course, I don't know what y'all select, if you select the end seat, a middle seat, or inside seat. I love a window seat. I'm not at the place to be in first class. Hopefully one day we'll get there, you know, pray to God for that. I'll keep that on my prayer list. So until then, I have to have a neck pillow, and preferably a window seat. That way I can lean over on that wall or on that window if I need to, right? So neck pillow, essential to international travel. Now, I know this is another thing a lot of people do not think about, but this is one of the most necessary things on my list. And these are flushable seat covers, okay? Again, I got these from Amazon. I will link them to my link tree, but this is a necessity. If you are, I know we all like to say, oh, I don't use public restrooms. Oh, I don't. Well, honey, I am 40. There is no way my body is just going to hold waste just because I wanted to. And I'm not going to be in that kind of pain, right? So I suggest take some seat covers, right? They are flushable. They come in individual packs, so you can be conspicuous and you can, put them in your pocket, go to the bathroom. They're great on a flight. Of course, I try not to use the bathroom on an airplane. Not number 2, anyway. Okay? But if you have to, you have to. Take these with you. Even in the airport, take one of these with you. Even in public, take one of these with you. In your everyday life, take one of these with you. Okay? And that brings me to Lysol, right? Now, I primarily use this for when I get to my room, my Airbnb, and or my hotel, and I spray down the bed in the sheets in the pillows with some Lysol and let it air out before I even lay down. So yes, but you can also use this and wipes. I don't have the Clorox wipes on me right now, but the wipes, of course, if you go to the restroom, you can, wipe down the toilet as you see fit. And it won't be a extra liquid, right? So I usually, like I said, primarily use this for the bed. But of course, for the restroom and all that, get you some Clorox wipes. That also brings me to butt wipes. Butt wipes, cootie cat wipes, whatever you want to call them, get you some. Now, I don't have those in front of me either, but I did have one of these. But, get you some individual wipes or whatever for using the bathroom. That way you can kind of feel somewhat clean, right? Especially if you're going to be on long flights. You don't want to have to use the restroom and now you feel dirty. You feel disgusting. So get you some personal wipes. Then you've just used the restroom, take you some air freshener. So I usually get these from Bath and Body Works, especially if y'all see my nail going, don't pay attention to that. From Bath and Body Works, especially if I am going on a trip and I'll be sharing a room with someone. Now, this is even if I share a room with my husband or if I'm sharing a room with my friend. I want to make sure I have some air freshener, because one thing I do not want to go behind somebody who just use the bathroom, right? They just used it. Not used it, but used it. Okay? I do not want to go behind you and smell your personals, right? And I don't want nobody smelling my personals either. So take y'all some, and you can also spray it, in the room if you just want to freshen up the room, to have a fresh smell when you first get in it, whether it's at your Airbnb or your hotel, all right? Also, I have some disposable face towels. These come, so they're compressed, right? But they're disposable. So you open this up and you wet them. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm not going to actually wet it, but you wet them and then it expands, all right? So it looks like this, and then it expands. It's a face towel, so especially if you're on the flight, this will come in handy. I know they give you like some wet face towelettes. I just like to have my own, and maybe my own little thing if I really want whatever face wash you use, just a little thing of that. And if I have to, I'll go and just wash my face, especially if you have a long layover, right? I also like to have when I'm out in, the roaming the neighborhood or roaming the streets or touring through the streets of wherever I'm at, I also like to have a crossbody bag. I also got this off of Amazon. Sometimes, I like to keep my stuff close to me, right? I'm not from here. I don't know what kind of people out here. I don't know if y'all pickpocketing. I don't know nothing. So I don't really put things in my pocket. I put this crossbody on. I can have it in front of me, and it's close to me, and I know where my things are at. It has a lot of compartments in it, right? A zipper in here, and then even a place for cards if you just want to stick your cards off in there. So I usually take my essentials, all the things that I've showed you up to this part. I usually have all those things in here. And like I said, it's just easy to keep your things close to you, especially when you're not that aware of the people and or area that you'll be in. If we're all adults, I shouldn't have to say this. Hand sanitizer. All right, take you some hand sanitizer. Again, on the plane, it would be great. If you're out in public as you're touring, it would be great. You're going to probably be touching a lot of stuff, a lot of doors, a lot of handles, a lot of rails. Take some hand sanitizer, okay? Put it in your bag. Don't leave without it. A fan. Y'all, I get hot, right? I am from Texas, but no matter how long I've lived here, no matter that I was born and raised in Texas, I get hot. And when I get hot, I get irritated. So take a fan. Even if you think the weather is cold, I would take a fan, because you don't know if you're going to a restaurant and it's going to be hot in their restaurant. I take a fan. I always have it with me just in case. I do have another one just in case this is not portable enough for you, right? I have another fan that unfolds. Let's see if I can get this open with these nails on, y'all. Right, so this unfolds. This might be dead. I might need to, I need to charge this fan. Make sure your fan is charged, right? So this is even more portable. Keep it in your bag. Okay, so I went to look if I had any. Unfortunately, I do not. But the next thing I want to suggest is Pepto-Bismol. Please take you some Pepto. You will be eating new foods that you have probably never eaten before, or you're not accustomed to eating. So it's new to your body. Take you some Pepto-Bismol, that way to just give you some comfort, just in case, even ahead of time, just as a preventative method. Just take you some Pepto-Bismol. Even the food on the flight, take some Pepto-Bismol to prevent your stomach from getting upset, any digestive issues. All right, also binoculars. If you are doing any, getting on any catamaran, any whale watching or anything like that, take you some binoculars, right? I also, again, got these off of Amazon. They come with a neck strap. You could take these. They also come with a case. I love to do that, especially if I'm going on any kind of boat trips, and I don't plan on getting in the water. If we're just going to be doing some whale watching or even some animal watching, like I said, we are going to be going to Senegal, Africa, and I just want to make sure that I can see everything that I can, right? All right, the other things are more so tips or things to consider. Consider your shoes, right? So I know in Lisbon, a lot of the streets, as I understand it, are cobblestone. So we're probably going to take some type of hiking shoe, so we don't have any issues with that. If it's going to be rainy weather while you're out there, wherever you're going, consider that. Consider if you're going to be doing water activities. What do you need for water activities? Because sometimes as tourists, when you get to your destination, things can be a lot more expensive. So you want to take as much as possible that you can on your trip, rather than buying certain things when you get there. Okay, let's see. I have a list. So consider the weather, right? So we're going to Lisbon. That's gonna be cooler weather. Again, like I said, I live in Texas. Texas 60 is probably not gonna be Europe 60, right? I went to London and Paris around the same time. In Dallas, the 60 was not the same. I got to Paris and London, and all I could think about was mittens. I need mittens. I need mittens. I need mittens. We don't wear mittens in Dallas when it's 60. I was lost. I literally was walking through the neighborhoods looking for somewhere I can get some mittens or some gloves. So yeah, consider the weather where you're going, because then when we get to Senegal, it's going to be warmer weather. So we have to make sure we have items for, you know, whatever the weather is going to be for both places. Also, look into what the transportation is. If this is somewhere where you're not going to be renting a vehicle, look into what the transportation apps are. Not everyone has Uber and or Lyft. Do your due diligence and do your research as to what the travel apps are out there, the methods of travel. I know when we went to Dubai and Japan, even Thailand, we did get on their public transportation, their trains, or what do they call them in London? Their tubes. Yeah, so we did our due diligence. We researched those, looked at TikTok videos of how to best navigate those. So do your research with that. Outside of that, that is all I have for international travel tips and must-haves. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Help me out so I can get some more videos out there that you guys would like and enjoy. Until then, I'll see y'all next time. Bye.